If you are home labbing and running a NAS, then very likely you want to share out some files and manage some of your documents. There's a few services that are around. If you're using Synology, there's stuff that's built in. But if you're using something like TrueNAS or Unraid, you want a better solution. I've been a fan of Cfile for a long time. There's also Opencloud, Nextcloud, and Opencloud. I was on Reddit before. I saw someone ask for a guide on Opencloud. So let's install Opencloud on an Unraid server so we can do some file management. Real quick touch on Opencloud. It's file management and collaboration, sharing, storage, all of that sort of thing. It also has apps that will allow you to connect to it. So we will set up a domain that will allow it to be publicly accessible. And if you're using like Calibra Web or OpenOffice, then you can integrate them in here as well. Now, there's a little bit of terminal stuff we'll have to do. Of course, I'll have this up on my free Patreon, so go and grab the guides over there, and then we can install the app. So I'll install the app first. So Opencloud, and we want this one, the square version, which I think is the Opencloud EDU. Yes, Opencloud EDU. We want this one. Click install. On the UI here, the first thing I'm going to do is change this to my cache drive. Make sure you've got cache set up, so you're using a cache, which is an SSD, and then your array or your pools are just the hard drives. Going to leave everything else here. For the Opencloud URL, I'm going to change this to Ocloud, and then I'll give it the domain name I'm going to set up on Pangolin. You can do Cloudflare tunnels. However, you can use Cloudflare tunnels, but Cloudflare does have a 100 meg file upload limit, or you can't traverse a file bigger than that on the Cloudflare tunnel. I am unsure if Opencloud chunks the files to get around it. I'm pretty sure Nextcloud chunks files, so you don't have to worry if you're using Cloudflare tunnels. I use Pangolin. It doesn't have that issue, but if you have a problem uploading files and you're using Cloudflare tunnels, that's the issue. So I'll use the domain I'm going to create an admin password, just something default, password, insecure, leave that. More settings. Everything is, I'm not touching the SMTP. You can go and use SendGrid or something like that to set up if you want to send emails. I won't bother about that just now. If you're using Calibra, you would put in the domain there, or OnlyOffice, you put it there. I need to add variable, and the variable is going to be front-end disable Radicale. Now, the reason we're doing this is this Docker doesn't have Radicale, so the calendar isn't going to function. And I had a lot of trouble trying to get it to work. So I'm leaving it disabled, and I'm going to call that true. So it's just going to disable the calendar functionality in our Opencloud install. Okay, now I need to go into terminal. First, I need to make directory mnt for mount, then the cache app data Opencloud /config. Then I need to make directory, and this is where the data is. Cache is only a 500 gig drive, whereas the array is terabytes. So I'm going to do user Opencloud /data. Now I need to set permissions. So CHOWN /R, and then I need to do 1000. So user 1000 with permissions 1000. Mount cache app data Opencloud config, and then CHOWN R 1000 mount user Opencloud. I'm going to copy paste in. This is going to find and set the permissions to 751. Then I'm going to copy this in, and it'll do the same for both of those folders. So now we'll set a user and we'll set the permissions. Then I'm going to verify that we have folders and we have everything correct. So it's created and we have permissions. This is good. We can get out of here now. Double check we have everything. So our config is in the config file. The data is in the data file. Port is fine. I'm going to copy that port because I'll need the port ID and hit apply. All right. While that's happening, I'm going to go and set up the domain name. So it's the same thing as if you were doing tunnels, Cloudflare tunnels. So sites, go into my public resources, add a resource, and I'll call this Opencloud or Ocloud. I'll do the same in the subdomain. Then I'll add my target, and that's HTTPS because we set it as HTTPS in the settings. If you see here, the URL we set was HTTPS. We need to make sure it's the same. And then the port was 9200 and the IP address of this server. I'm going to do create the resource, and I'm just going to turn off authentication for example. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit done. Back into my Docker. With luck, it will be running. It's running. So now I'm going to go into the web UI. Perfect. We want this because I'm just using the IP address. If I go into the URL we created, perfect, we're getting a setup. The default username is admin, and the password is the one that we created on setup. Simple as that. Simple as that. So there is a very basic text editor in here. If you had the Collabora Office and Open Office, you could use those here. You can, I believe, in your admin settings, add users, create groups, create different spaces for them as you want. There is an app store. If you want to add some apps, you can. It will download them, but we need to upload them into our folders. So we're going to go into Unraid and into terminal. In the terminal, I'm just going to do make directory. Going to add the permissions. Yes, you could do this at the start. In the instructions, I'll add this as a thing to do at the start. And we're just doing chown $R1000, and we want mount user Opencloud. I forgot Opencloud data web assets apps. Okay. And I'm going to copy that and I'm going to data. Okay. Now, if I go into my shares, user, Opencloud, data, web, assets, apps. So I want to create folder DRAW-IO, draw.io. Go in there. I want to create a JS folder, and I downloaded one of the apps. So now I need to upload the manifest JSON into here, go into the JS, and then I want to upload the draw.io.ijs, go back into the Docker, and I should be able to restart. You saw we downloaded the draw.io, and now we have draw.io in the app, and now we have the app to do draw. So Opencloud is okay. It is very, very basic. I'd say this is probably 5 or 6 years behind where Nextcloud is. But if you're looking for something simple and basic, this is a great option. Because it's public, when you click a share, you can share directly out of here. So there you go. Opencloud on Unraid.